Joining me now is Jeff McNamara. He is a co-founder and non-executive director at Tesoro Gold. Great to see you again.
Yeah, great to be back, and thank you for the opportunity.
For sure. Let's get up to speed on the Zorro project in Chile, which we've talked about before. You're advancing that. You've got the Tenera deposit there, 7 other high-quality targets as well. So what's the latest for us?
Yeah, look, it's been a very, very busy year. And yeah, yesterday we announced an updated scoping study, and we've updated the mineral resource as well to 2 million ounces. And we've done some additional metallurgical test work. So rapidly advancing the asset, de-risking it, and continuing to grow that resource base. You know, very important part of the business, and that's seen a very positive reaction in the market.
Now, you updated the MRE a while ago, and you've done it again. So then it was 1.82. So now you're over 2 million. And in terms of the indicated category, what percentage is indicated now?
So it's 62% indicated.
62, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And any other highlights of that MRE?
Yeah, look, the project, it's the first intrusive related gold system discovered in Chile. So it's, you know, very unique in that aspect. And probably the second thing is location. You know, we're at low altitude, 15 kilometers from the Pan American Highway, 15 kilometers from the Pacific Ocean. We've got grid power 20 kilometers away, desalination plant 30 kilometers away. So by the end of 2025, we expect to have finalized agreements to access that grid power, and to also access that desalination plant.
So lots of infrastructure then.
Yeah, great area for infrastructure.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of operating mines in the region. Our largest shareholder, Gold Fields, is there with Solaris Norte. Kinross has multiple projects there. Barrick and Newmont have assets there. So yeah, it's a great mining jurisdiction, and we're in the Atacama Desert, driest place on earth, no inhabitants on the property. So excellent place to operate and work.
For sure. And we want to get back to all the big neighbors surrounding you as well. All right. So the scoping study has come out. So what's the timeline to PFS and FS?
Yeah, so the scoping study was released yesterday. We'll have a pre-feasibility study completed mid-2026. And we're basically running a 3-pronged or 3-parallel process. So what we'll be looking to do is continue to grow Tenera. We have a 3 million ounce exploration target on that. At the same time, continue to advance the studies to pre-feasibility, then feasibility. We'll be fully permitted in 18 months. And in parallel with those 2 work streams, the third work stream is to start to drill our highly exciting exploration targets in our 570 square kilometre land package. And that'll start at La Brea in the next couple of weeks.
Great, lots going on there. Now, in terms of on the financial side, you raised about 11 million Australian a while ago. Gold Fields is a big supporter of you, so they took a stake. So how would you describe the shareholder base, the demand for your shares, basically, and the perception of the company?
Yeah, look, the perception certainly improved with that updated MRE and the scoping study. So as I mentioned, de-risking it. We've done 3 private placements that Gold Fields participated in. So they sit at 17%. We also have Ruffer, Conway, Ixos, RAB Capital, and an Australian institutional investor, Collins Street, on the register. So a real shift, to institutional investors. They're probably now, 65% institutional, and obviously Gold Fields as the corporate on the register. So yeah, the business is developing very nicely.
You mentioned the big players in and around where you are, Goldfield, Kinross, you mentioned them, Lundin, and so on. So what is there a parallel track here, meaning you're dedicated to get to production, but at the same time, you're aware that they're looking at your project and maybe you get taken out?
Yeah, look, we've always established the business so that we could take it into production. And this is the second scoping study we've done. So this is a larger scale scoping study, 3 million tonne per annum processing plant. We'll mine 40 million tonnes in a large open pit at about 1 gram. Generates an NPV of 660 odd million at a 7.5% discount rate post-tax at 2,750 gold price. Take that to spot price and you've got a business that generates an NPV of $1 billion US. So we'll continue that path forward. And look, if someone does approach us, then obviously we'll take that to shareholders and take that into due consideration.
Okay, so lastly, compelling targets, you're growing the resource. The stock's valuation has been shifting and been moving up a little bit. And so at an event like this, where there's so many companies, so many stories, what's the feedback and what's sort of how would you describe the investment case for investors?
Yeah, look, I think the feedback's been very, very positive here. And I think, again, it comes back to a couple of points that are quite unique about the project. One, it's the first intrusive related gold system discovered in Chile, so it's truly unique. We've now got that 2 million ounces. As I mentioned, location, low altitude, power, water, paved roads, 15 kilometers from that national highway. Highest point on the property is 900 meters. A lot of large neighbours. There's been 4 projects permitted in this region in the last 3 years. So yeah, it's really about continue that de-risking and making other and additional discoveries in that land belt. So we've explored less than 5% of the land belt. And the great thing about intrusive related gold systems is you typically get multiple multi-million ounce deposits within it. We have not yet found the source of the intrusive. So potentially there's something bigger and better out there than Tenera, but Tenera is a great starter asset. You mentioned we raised 11 million in capital. We still have 7.5 million Australian dollars. So we won't be heading back to market till next year. So it's, foot to the floor with the drilling and the studies work, make new discoveries and continue to grow Tenera. I personally believe, and I put $1 million of my own money into this company, that there's potential for Tenera to be a 5 million ounce deposit alone.
Great. Excellent update. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good stuff, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Okay, Jeff McNamara, Tesoro Gold.